This is a response video to Brian G. Johnson on a recent video entitled, "Do you need a website for a YouTube channel?" And this is what he has to say.
However, if your goal, if your vision for YouTube is simply to publish videos, to have fun, to drive some engagement, then do you really need a website? Probably not.
On that point, Brian, I disagree with you, and here's why. Coming up, roll the intro. Hey name tags and welcome, this is Ash from HealMyTech, helping you go from newbie to techie. On this channel we do reviews, repairs and tech tutorials. So if you're new here, consider subscribing, enable the bell icon notification, and everyone smash that like button for more videos like this one. And please consider using my Amazon affiliate link to have the channel out. It's not going to cost you anything extra. Thanks a million. This video is not sponsored, and I also don't have any affiliations with Brian. I've never met him, we've never spoken until today. I sent him an email and also left a comment on his video to say I disagreed with his point and could I do a response video by also using some of his footage under fair use, to which he agreed. This is also to show you people, some of you people, how to actually disagree with someone while still being civil. And although I did not need to ask his permission to use his footage under fair use, I still thought it's a good idea to reach out. I don't think anyone in their right mind would ever say no if you just ask them politely. So I hope you're going to check out his channel. I'm going to leave the link above and also in the description below. He does give great tips for how to crush it here on YouTube. His production value is better than mine. His presentation skills are far superior. So you probably will learn something from him as I do. And Brian, if you're watching this, I'd love to collaborate in the future. So hit me up. Brian, I agree with everything you've said in your video, which is if you're thinking about branding in the future, then having your own website is definitely going to increase your chances of landing a decent professional brand deal. But the point I disagree with you is you mentioned that there's some people who may just be having some fun right now. They're not thinking about a brand or anything too serious. So it's not necessary for them to have a website. And I disagree. To start, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why I disagree. The number one, I don't buy the whole people on YouTube is going to stay on YouTube just for fun, just out of passion. Sure, you can start like this. Certainly I did. A lot of people start just because it's a passion and it's fun. Soon enough though, the passion and the fun is going to turn into stress and burnout. As you do more videos, as you stay on YouTube, you're going to find out that creating these videos, the equipment and the time and the effort all require money, and you need to be able to get that money from some sort of source of income. And unless you're going to put a lot of content regularly and grow on YouTube, you're not going to be able to get that money back just from the AdSense revenue, which means you go back to square one. You're going to need some sort of external revenue where probably brand deal is a good example, and you're going to need to be taken seriously. So I disagree. So eventually that thing about fun and passion, that doesn't last very long. Now, if you find me someone who is very successful today and has been doing YouTube for a long while and they're doing out of passion and out of fun and they're not monetizing, let me know who they are. I would love to have them on their channel or even learn something from them, because they're going to be far and few between. They're going to be a rare gem. For the most of us, no matter what your intentions are at the beginning, you're going to need income, you're going to need money, and YouTube AdSense is nowhere near enough. Number 2, YouTube is a privately owned company. It's not a government property, so it's a privilege and not a right. Despite what some YouTubers, especially big ones, they sometimes come and complain when YouTube makes some changes on their platform, which they own, and the YouTubers start to complain because their revenue is diminishing. YouTube doesn't owe anyone anything. They haven't written a contract of employment with anyone, including myself. If I decide to leave my job and I decide to try full-time YouTube like many other YouTubers try to do, and I find out my videos are not doing well, channel is not doing well, there's adpocalypse, there is restricted for advertisers and all this nonsense, then YouTube isn't forcing me or anyone to start on YouTube and stay on YouTube. It is completely my choice. So if they decide to kick you off the platform, whether or not it's justified, it is a private platform. They may feel you have not followed their terms and conditions or terms of service, and you may have had received a few copyright strikes and all this other nonsense. So eventually, if they decide to kick you off the platform, even if they were wrong, you could potentially think about maybe taking them to court, but you're not going to stand a lot of chances of winning that case, because you're not forced to be on YouTube or stay on YouTube. You can talk about fairness all you want, But that's not legal stuff, is it? That's not employment liability. They're not obliged to keep you on the platform. Do remember, you joined the platform like me with no fees. It doesn't cost anything financially. Yes, it costs time and energy and effort, and you choose to buy certain equipments. You don't have to. Again, you're not forced to make a YouTube career. Who is asking you to do that? You can get another job, fund some of this equipment, and stay on YouTube, see where it goes. But don't blame YouTube when they make changes and when they decide to kick you off the platform. There is no employment. Now, this might be a gray area for some people. They might say because YouTube is what's called a game changer, so whereby they can bring their own rule, and some other people may say that they have become so popular and so strong that they can't be allowed to continue because the government at some point has to step in. Maybe that may come. Until then, there is no legality, there is no employment contract, so they're not forced to oblige any conditions towards you. So what are you going to do the day that you actually get kicked off the platform, or all your videos get demonetized, or there's a problem with more apocalypse, or for whatever reason you can't Google AdSense that revenue? So you need another source of income. And like you know, YouTube is a platform where you can just come and advertise yourself for free, or your product or your services, and you use it as a stepping stone, because there's other ways to make money. And having a website, a place where you can go and control what you say, what you upload, and whatever content you want on there, then it's going to be your choice. Obviously, you would have been savvy that you would have been backing up your content that you're uploading to YouTube, and the day that you're off YouTube, you have a whole backlog of content you can just push onto your website and carry on. Or you can use that website to host other things and put other advertising features, or whatever heck you want to sell, goods and services or courses. Your own website means your own platform, your own boss, your own autonomy, whatever the heck you want to put on there. That's your call. Ultimate freedom of speech. Obviously, there are still some limitations, and you should not try to do anything illegal. You're going to get into trouble depending on the country where you reside and on the laws there. But in terms of, you can't complain on your own website that people are not allowing you to express whatever you want. It's your website, so having full control is one other reason why you should really think about having your own website, even if it's just a minimum of a blog page. I'm sure you've heard of all these changes on YouTube. They're becoming a lot more strict, which is a good thing. You know, they are, trimming the scum. I'm not against that, but obviously there's some issues about freedom of speech and the right to express yourself. But again, we go back to the fact that YouTube is a private platform. So if you want ultimate control, do your own platform and then do whatever heck you want there. And number 3, although you may now be starting with fun and passion, you're not thinking of brand, you never know when someone or a company might contact you and try to give you a deal just because of one video of yours that went viral. And if you're not ready because you didn't have a website, then you're screwed. Now, here's what Brian was probably trying to say, and maybe should have elaborated on a bit more. Tell me if you agree with me, Brian. Don't spend a lot of time, energy, and effort trying to build a professional website from day one, or paying someone for a professional website, especially at the beginning if you're just having fun. However, the golden advice I would give anyone, even if you're just having fun, you need to secure a brand name. Think about branding and spend some time really researching that brand name. And you want a brand name, even if you're not going to brand, you want to get it at an early stage, a name that actually is cross-platform, available on things like website, domains, social media, etc. And it looks really nice and professional. The absolute minimum you should be starting with is a domain name. So something like www.mywebsite.com. I'm just, using an example here, which you can get from a place like GoDaddy.com for 99 pence for 2 years of registering at the basic rate. I'm not affiliated with GoDaddy. This is not sponsored. I'm just saying this is where I got my domain, both of my channels, for HealMyTech and HealMyTajweed, and I paid pennies just to have a brand name and a domain name that is mine. You don't have to build a website yet. Just get the domain name and keep that. You never know. In a couple of years, maybe there's a company that's going to be looking for that specific domain name, and you own that, and you could sell it off for a lot of money. I would also say you should also consider starting with a minimum page, a landing page, like a blog website. Now, you don't have to do a paid one at the beginning. Now, you can use some of those free websites where you can just upload some stuff. Obviously, you can have their domain name and then / your own brand name, but it's a starting point. You could also use something like Google Sites, and they allow you to create a decent website for a lot of information, which is so easily done. You can just click and drag content from all your other Google applications and also connect your YouTube video, which is another great way of complementing your YouTube channel to that Google website. One bonus on that is that although under the description on YouTube you can input certain text, but there's a limit. But on Google you could actually elaborate on the content you're actually producing and make a proper article which can become searchable and increase your SEO. The downside of the free websites, like I just mentioned, you don't have control of the website, and there's also their own domain name and then your name, so you're gonna have to live with that. Otherwise, what you could do is potentially also link, for example, GoDaddy domain name to that Google website. I don't know whether there's a fee for that, but even if there was a fee, it's very minimal and that would really help in terms of building traffic to your own website gradually. So a blog is the absolute minimum essential that I would ask you to do, even if it's just the same article that you've just talked about in your video on YouTube. Then just put that in written format. You're going to be surprised. I've had people contact me and say to me, thank you so much for adding description and text on YouTube channel, because they had a problem with their download speed and download bandwidth and limit capacity and all this nonsense. So they were able to actually fix their device just by reading the text without watching the video. So if you have especially like tutorial channels, how-to channels, but anything else really like blogs, and you put that in text format, there are people in parts of the world who can access the text a lot easier than they can access a video. Now, if you don't even want to do that, you can use other friendly services for building websites which require no knowledge of coding whatsoever. You've heard them from your favorite YouTubers. There's Squarespace, there's Wix, maybe there's others. Again, not affiliated, not sponsored. It's just something I've heard, and I've actually used Squarespace for two of my websites, which is HealMyTech and HealMyTajweed. I mean, it's just kind of an informative website right now. There's not much on there, just kind of a landing page, and I haven't decided what to do on both my websites, so there's not much going on. But the fact that I'm already securing them from now is down to me and down to you. If you have that platform, then you'll be able to put on courses, merchandising, whatever the heck you want on that website. Now, there's probably a lot more reasons, but we're going to end with this today, and I'm going to give you my final thoughts. Now, as much as would like to keep YouTube as a fun and passion and a pastime and a part-time thing, a lot of people who start, and if they are serious and they are aspiring maybe to become like a big YouTuber and make some money, it's not fun and passion anymore after a while. It becomes serious. There is a serious side to YouTube, the business side, the entrepreneur side. And my advice to you is, if you just after fun and passion, don't start YouTube. But if you start, don't stay on it. You can express your fun and your passion on all other social media platforms, literally any one of them, because they're a different ball game as far as YouTube is concerned in terms of becoming an entrepreneur and the potential it represents. So nobody, well, at least most people, don't start on YouTube just for fun and passion, and they don't stay like that for long. Just to remind you, this was not to cause any problems, but I'm allowed to express my opinions, especially if I think an advice is a bad one, no matter who it comes from. By all means, feel free to disagree and let me know down below why you still think having your own website is not a good idea. Remember all the conditions I've said, that obviously don't spend too much money, there's not much point. But if you're saying you don't want a website, you're actually missing out on a learning opportunity. And I think if you're a person who is starting on YouTube, you're not one who is going to say no to possibilities. So why would you want to restrict yourself further by not going for the chance of learning something else by having your own website? Okay, that's the end of today's video. If you're wondering what else to watch at the end, there's going to be a couple of videos on the end screen. Feel free to go check out my channel, and don't forget to also use my Amazon affiliate links to help out the channel without costing you anything extra. As usual, you know what to do down below. Like, comment, and share this video. If you're new here, subscribe, enable the bell icon notification. As usual, it was a pleasure. This was Ash from HealMyTech, helping you go from newbie to techie. Until next time, peace out.